Hey, Artie here. Welcome to the Bar Mills Moose. The video you're going to be looking at will cover information about the Cemetery Hill kit, this year's Christmas kit. We actually have two videos listed on this page. This is the short one, just gets right to the kit. Now, if you look at the other link, it's the actual live broadcast that we had on Monday, November 15th, that we'll discuss in more depth both about the kit, about previous kits we've done, as well as a live session with questions and answers regarding the Cemetery Hill kit. So if you want to see something, and if you have the time to look at something more comprehensive, go to the other video. Otherwise, enjoy this one. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Artie here from Bar Mills. Welcome to our special Christmas kit edition of the Daily Moose. This year, we're going to shift gears again, and we're going to do something totally unique based on a movie set, based on old pictures, and based on a small, off-the-tracks kind of a scene that you might find on an ocean or on a riverfront or in the mountains or in a small town or even in a city, depending on how you want to build it. And that is this year's kit. It's called Cemetery Hill. So we're going to get right to it. Cemetery Hill is a small diorama. It measures 24 inches across by 12 inches deep. It's actually comprised of 5 scenic elements, 4 buildings or 3 buildings, depending on how you look at it, as well as a cemetery plot. Now with this kit, we've included anything from the buildings to the tombstones, to the fences, to the telephone poles, and so on. A very, very different kind of a build. And you know what? It's surprisingly easy. Thanks to the engineering of Jim Mooney, our head engineer, we've come up with a very detailed structural approach that honestly is like no other we've ever done before. Multi-layer walls in some cases that let you see through to the interiors of the buildings, and you can see the actual bracing and structural components of the inner walls on some of these builds. The shingles are basically all laser cut cedar shake shingles, as well as tar paper. We've used resin sidewalks as well as laser cut sidewalks. All kinds of different things that are not particularly difficult to put together, although they will take you a little time and will definitely expand your modeling expertise, because there are some techniques here that are going to be very unique. All right, we're going to take a look at the actual diorama. Now, the diorama is 24 inches across by 12 inches deep. You could make it longer if you'd like to, because obviously the buildings are very snug together. And of course, the depth is going to depend on what and how you're going to use this on your layout. We kept the waterfront that we've introduced here very, very shallow, simply for display purposes. We mentioned earlier that this could be an oceanfront or a riverfront, but the idea of it is not all waterfronts house active shipping facilities, and this is the kind of shoreline that would not be the case. There would be not necessarily any boats or any kind of facilities here. This is strictly an elevated rock elevation coming off from the side of a waterfront as we've modeled it in this particular scene. Here again, we have some photos by Jim Mooney where he has built it more to a city scene, which is a totally different approach and certainly would require different scenery. Now, as you work from your left to your right, we start out over here with the cemetery. Now, the cemetery is comprised of laser cut fencing that has a set of included tombstones by Woodland Scenics. There's no painting or anything necessary with this. And the fencing is very, very fine, and we've never released anything like this before, so it's brand new as far as we are concerned. As we head towards the right, as you look across this diorama, you'll run into the Jonah Casket Company. This is the only building of the bunch that actually has traditional clapboard siding. This building here, however, features some really cool steps, a cool overhang, all kinds of shutters, as well as cedar shake roofing. If you'll notice on the very front of it also, you'll see some caskets. And of course, those are included with the kit. We've nestled it up against the cemetery for the sake of the scene. Keep in mind that even though these buildings are attached to each other in their own way, they have their own separate sidewalls. So if you wanted to separate these structures from each other to create a larger scene or to reposition them in any pattern you want to, this is not a big deal with this kit. As we head more to the right, you'll notice the largest building of the bunch. This is the painting building, or it's also called the printing building, or as I call it, the painting printing building. The kit will actually come with 2 sets of signs and stencils, so you can letter it either way. This building here has a MDF base on it that has been laminated to easily accept an overlay of individual pieces of cardstock that have been individually painted and laminated simply on top of the MDF to provide a very, very strong base as you build this thing. It takes far less effort than you might think to get this look. It's just a matter of having the right tools and the right concepts. If you'll notice, we're using resin sidewalks here that obviously come with the kit. All the doors and windows in every one of these kits are laser cut and are positionable, so you can model some closed and some open depending upon what you want to do with the model. Okay, as we continue our trip down the road here, you'll see an elevated area of the diorama. The elevation is actually 1 inch higher than the actual road here. By the way, this road is all based upon a gator foam base, and this is actually 2 pieces of gator foam stacked on top of each other in kind of a birthday cake manner or a wedding cake manner to be able to provide the surface with rocks and castings. By the way, you'll also notice here that there is a stairway here and a stairway further down in the scene, and of course these all come with the kit, so if you want to model in this style, you'll be able to install these on your own layout. There's also a retaining wall that we've installed between these 2 buildings, and the retaining wall is also included with the kit. This building here is simply called a barber shop, and it's a combination of a board and batten building, a scribe building, all kinds of different techniques, including an open front wall where if you look really closely, and we'll have some photos up here for you, that you can actually see the 2x4s and structural elements within the building. The barbershop sign itself is laser cut and laser etched for easy assembly, and this little building is covered with tar paper roofing and is attached next to it to yet another kind of a unique shed. The final building of the assembly is this very, very weather-worn shed, using the same techniques as we use on the painting building, applying 1 strip of cardstock at a time over a self-adhesive backing and exposing interior rafting and studs and details that lie actually between the wall sections. This is a 3-layer wall to create this. This one also uses a section of steps, the quick steps that we include with the kit. So if you want to set this up like this, you can get away with it. If you notice, this gentleman steps right out and you could break his neck if he didn't have the steps there. But that's kind of the drama of this whole scene. It's just unique, and it works within nature. It's one of the things that really make this whole scene come to life. So that's basically a look at this year's Christmas kit, the 2022 version, or 2021 version, I guess, of Cemetery Hill. Now, I've stammered a little bit through this and kind of hedged my way through it because there are so many things to talk about, and I don't want to leave anything out, yet I don't want to make things overly complicated. There are so many subtle nuances to this particular build that I feel like we're cheating everybody by not letting them know how involved it is, how insanely detailed this kit is. But on the other hand, we don't want to make you all crazy either. This video is appearing both on the Moose and eventually on the website, or the other way around, and we will have a part 2 to this video. It will be the archived taping of the live stream that we'll have presented on November 15th. That'll eventually make it onto this copy of the Daily Moose, and we will be talking more about the kit, more about the details, and answering questions online live that may actually answer some of the questions you may have. So that will come at a slightly later date if you're watching this, and if it's well after November 15th, you could probably find a link right on this page. So that's it this time for Cemetery Hill for Bar Mills. My name is Art Fahey. Thanks for joining us. We love the kit. Hopefully you'll love it as much as we do.